Welcome back to Mindful Homestead. My name is Jack if you're new here, and if you're not, welcome back to the channel. It's been a dreary day so far here on the homestead. It's probably about 4 in the afternoon right now. It rained all morning, so I wasn't able to get out here and shoot a video, which is fine because I just ran errands instead. But it stopped raining. I've got some time to kill before Emma has to go to gymnastics this evening. So I'm gonna move the truck. I'm gonna get the tractor out, and we're gonna talk a little bit about our old tractor, the Kubota, the BX, which we don't have anymore, and a little bit about the new tractor, and if I would still buy the tractor we originally bought, the Kubota BX, if I would still buy it in 2018 where we were when we were first kind of getting things going on the homestead, or whether I would have bought something else. So stay tuned for that. Tractor video, TYM. I should probably drop those forks down, otherwise I'll definitely walk into them. I'm here standing next to our current tractor, which is a 2023 TYM 494 cab hydrostat tractor. This is the second tractor we've had here on the homestead. It's the largest tractor I've ever personally run or owned. But before we had this tractor, we had a 2018 Kubota BX 2380, which a lot of you longtime viewers of the channel are familiar with. I've got a playlist of all those videos. It's got over 1 million views. You guys love Kubota BX content, and that's cool. No problem with that at all. But in spring of 2023, we sold the Kubota BX and we bought the TYM. Our homestead had grown. We'd been doing a lot more with pasture-raised pork. We needed a larger tractor to do larger jobs. We were buying our hog feed by the ton. We had some logging and small forestry things we wanted to do here on the homestead. The black flies are really bad right now, so you'll have to apologize if I just kind of lose it every once in a while. But the Kubota was our first foray into tractor ownership. And I wanted to do a quick video because I get a lot of questions on, would you still buy a Kubota in 2023? It's kind of a tricky scenario to go into because in 2023, our farm looks a lot different than it did in 2018. If we were just starting out today, and I knew what I know now, like I had the same knowledge base, but not necessarily the same infrastructure around me, would I still buy a Kubota? So we're gonna tackle that in today's video, and we're gonna kind of dive down that rabbit hole a little bit. So first things first, what did we buy and when and why? The first thing we bought was a 2018 Kubota BX 2380. It was an open station. We bought it with the loader, front mount snowblower, the 60-inch mower deck, and we had a box blade for it, a 4-foot box blade by the end of it. That was pretty much, that was it. I think that was all we had with the tractor. The scope of purpose for the tractor was driveway maintenance. We have a 900-foot gravel driveway. Mowing the lawn, obviously, with the mower. We figured if we're gonna have this tractor and it comes with a mower deck, why wouldn't we mow the lawn with it? Snow removal of that driveway in the winter as well. And generally acting as a force multiplier here on the farm, letting us carry, like, say, more bags of mulch in the bucket than if we had a wheelbarrow, moving dirt faster from like a pile over here to the raised beds, which we built when we had the Kubota in the backyard. Really just being like some extra muscle here on the farm. In 2018, we were 2 years into the ownership of this property. Our homestead was just kind of getting up off the ground. We thought having a small tractor like that was going to be a great addition, and it was. It was awesome having the Kubota around. We really enjoyed it. The next logical question in all of this is, why did we buy Kubota? For one, when I started doing research on tractors, Kubota was a name I had heard. As a non-tractor person and a non-equipment person, you see orange tractors everywhere. Kubota is ubiquitous. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, just get a Kubota. So if you're coming just from the school of popular opinion, you've heard people say, oh, get a Kubota. Kubota is going to be the first place you look. You think you're getting an awesome deal. Back when we bought the Kubota, Kubota was offering 0% financing on their tractors, which was incredible. 0% financing, it sounds awesome if you're not used to that sort of thing. And I had heard a lot of good things about the BX series of tractors. Kubota kind of sort of pioneered that subcompact frame size of tractor. So when we thought about getting a subcompact, naturally we just kind of gravitated to Kubota, and that's where we ended up. We got a great deal on it. It cost us about $25,000 when all was said and done, with the loader, the snowblower, the mid-mount mower, and that was with financing as well at 0%. I think we put like $5,000 down, something like that. Another question we get when people watch our Kubota videos is, why did you go for a subcompact tractor? Jackie and I were not necessarily as clued in to where we were gonna go on the homestead, but you look at a subcompact tractor like the BX and you think, oh, it's small, it's gonna be easy to manage. It's not much different than, say, a riding lawnmower that Jackie and I have both run in the past. You look at a tractor that's Kubota BX sized or other subcompact tractor sized, and you say that's gonna be really easy to manage. There's not really a big learning curve to it. That's kind of the space we wanna go into. You look at all the other specs, PTO horsepower, lift capacities of both the 3-point and the loader, that sort of thing, and you just kind of, you say, well, those will be good enough for me, that'll work. And we made it work for almost 5 years, from September of 2018 to March of 2023. It worked just fine. And there were a few incidences here and there where maybe I got in a little bit over my head with the tractor. But by and large, whenever I had something I wanted to do, I was able to make that happen and get the job done for the most part. Which brings me to where we are now with the TYM. When we decided to sell the BX in 2023, I went back to Kubota first. I started looking at Grand L's because I knew, from at least a loader standpoint, I knew I wanted to lift at least 2,000 pounds practically. So when I say lift 2,000 pounds practically, your loader capacities, which I've mentioned before, your lift capacity at the pins is not necessarily what you can actually lift. So realistically, if you want to lift a pallet of pig feed that weighs, say, 2,000 pounds, you want a lift capacity that's over 2,000 pounds at the pins. In this case, we are lifting 2,000 pound or 2,100 pound pallets of pig feed with a lift capacity on this tractor of 2,700 pounds at the pins. But on the Kubota side of things, that put me into Grand L6060 territory. You needed the large frame L series to lift that, to fit the loader that would lift that. Or it put you into the MX 5400 category of things. And on those tractors, like an MX 5400 with a cab, or an L6060 with a cab that was even gonna be more, you're looking at prices north of $50,000 for just the tractor and loader with the cab. I knew I wanted a cab, so that was what I was pricing. And it made me take a step back and say, well, I loved the BX. I was able to get a good price on the BX when we bought it, but is there other stuff out there in the market? And I did a lot of searching. I found TYM. I spoke to people who own TYMs, both YouTubers that you probably know, like Hank Hamilton and Al Lumna, but other people I just kind of run across as well in kind of out and about in the farming community locally, people that had bought TYMs, and that's what we ended up getting. This is not necessarily a TYM promo video, but that's what we bought. But it leads me to the point of this video, was knowing what I know now about tractors and the tractor space. If I was looking for a subcompact tractor in 2024, would I still go back to Kubota? The answer to that's kind of a gray area. I would definitely consider it, but I don't know if it would be my final choice, knowing what I know about the subcompact tractor market and what offerings are out there now as a more experienced tractor owner, tractor equipment buyer, I guess you could say. Don't get me wrong, the BX is a good tractor. Kubota's dealer network is incredible. They've got dealers all across the country. Their part support is great, but I kind of feel as if the pricing on Kubotas has started to outweigh the value that they offer and the power that they bring to your small farm or homestead. If you have a great Kubota dealer near you, that is an option that you are more than likely going to pursue, because I always say, buy the dealer, not the tractor. That said, when we bought our BX in 2018, we were just starting our farm, money was relatively tight, and I didn't know any better necessarily than assuming I had to go out and take on the tractor payment that came along with the Kubota. I also didn't necessarily realize how quickly I would outgrow what the Kubota was. I thought in my head that a subcompact tractor was gonna be fine and good enough for us. And very quickly I would say probably within the second year, I was pushing the limits of what I could do with the Kubota, and I was trying to get away with stuff that I probably shouldn't have been doing. If I knew then what I knew now, and I was trying to buy a tractor for our aspiring homestead, I probably would have looked at a slightly larger frame tractor, potentially what Kubota has now in the LX series. And in doing so there, I probably would have been priced out of what we were looking to spend back in the day. And I would have been forced to take a look at other tractor manufacturers. And I hope that I would have made the right decision and potentially gone with somebody else to get a little bit more tractor with a different color paint job, if that makes any sense. Full disclosure, it wouldn't have been TYM back then. 2018, the TYM dealer network here in New England was much smaller than it is now. They've made many leaps and bounds in the last 5 years. But it could have been one of the Mahindra EMAX series. It could have been a Coyote, which was just starting to creep in. They're starting to have an okay dealer network now. Parts support on Coyote, from what I hear, is not as great as it could be, but that's neither here nor there. I probably would have looked at offerings from other tractors though. I wouldn't have jumped right into the Kubota, which is what I did back then. And honestly, I probably should have bought a slightly larger tractor and spent the same amount of money by going with a different manufacturer than buying the orange tractor that I wanted back then and simply settling for an orange tractor that I wanted, which was probably smaller than I should have bought. So I guess the takeaway from this video is this: if I knew back in 2018 what I knew about buying equipment now in 2024, I probably wouldn't have bought a Kubota BX. It might have been a larger Kubota, or to get a better bang for the buck, it might have been a different tractor company entirely. If you're out there starting the tractor buying process now for the first time, hopefully this video can lend you a little bit of insight into the things that you should be looking for yourself and deciding, do you go with a certain brand or do you go with a certain class of tractor for your small farmer homestead? Hopefully this video helps you out. As always, everybody, thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a great day.